Hey guys, what is going on? BlueJ here, and today we are doing a Let's Talk About. Well, welcome back to another Let's Talk About. And today I have a couple special guests here with me. Introduce yourself, guys.
Take it, Vin Master. Vin Dog.
Yeah, I'm some random dumbass, not one that he just picked up off the street. It's me, it's Vinnie, the shitty vlogger from day 3 of VidCon. That guy, the guy with the glasses.
I want a t-shirt that says, "It's me, it's Vinny." That guy, and then in the back it says, "That guy with the glasses." That would be amazing. Hey everyone,
I can make
my name is. Oh, sorry. Wow.
I'm sorry. Shit.
No, I was raining on your parade, and then you rained on mine. It's cool.
Okay.
No, I'm Chris from ChrisCrossMedia, and I was also in this supposed vlog, and Joey is a good friend of mine. So, what's up?
Yeah, so today we are going to be talking about Disney parks. Pretty much just about what happened at D23, and pretty much just our opinions on just what we think should be gone from the parks and what should change. So
Let's be perfectly clear. We are big Disney fans, big Disney avid fans. We love the movies, we love the parks. But in the current state, you know, there's things to be critical about, and there's ways to improve upon what is already established. And there's some things at D23 that were brought up that kind of raised a few eyebrows, but also satisfied my Disnerd needs. So I'm curious, what did you guys all think about D23 and what was announced? There was a couple things thrown at the table.
yeah, there were.
Yeah, so what were some of those things?
So one thing that just was like, yes, Marvel Land. There's no name for it yet or rides announced, but just the confirmation that it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that got me like,
Yeah, and that's going to be over the Bugs Life land area and just kind of cover that.
like it should.
Yeah.
So what do you think about it, Vinny? I know you're not a big superhero fan, but
Yeah, superhero movies really aren't my favorite, but
Says the guy that was on Tower of Terror, the Guardians of the Galaxy thing, like 17 times in a row.
Hey, that shit's fun.
exactly.
Doesn't mean I like the Guardians of the Galaxy anymore.
See, and that's the thing, is that these attractions, we know that they're going to be fun, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to push, because they're such large intellectual properties, and they really want to show the world that they're going to make a great Marvel ride, because you know everybody's going to be comparing what they're going to do there to what Universal did in Orlando.
Oh, exactly.
So Disney is going to be putting everything that they have into making this something special. So I think you're a fan of the movies, whether you're a fan of the comics, or you don't like them at all, I feel like the attractions will have something there for ride enthusiasts, Disney park fans, and people that just want to feel immersed. I feel like there's going to be a lot there for people like us. But I love the movies, so I'm happy
same.
either way.
Exactly. The only thing I'm trying to figure out is if they're going to introduce anyone else, because they were very bland with who's coming. They said Spider-Man and the Avengers. So, like, are we ever going to get any Ant-Man, or is Ant-Man included in the Avengers? Is Doctor Strange included in the Avengers? So it's like, there's so many possibilities.
I mean, I think Ant-Man's definitely considered an Avenger.
Yeah.
Actually, wasn't there was attraction concept art that was shown not too long ago.
I think
what
for
ride was that
Shanghai.
for?
I think it was Shanghai.
Yes. I guarantee that ride is going to come to DCA.
And it could go right in the Tough to Be a Bug theater. And just
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
get rid of that ride.
Yeah. Yeah, but I feel like that ride that they're making there, which to me, from what I saw, seems like a very similar ride system to the Star Wars ride that they're building over at Disneyland. A mixture of large animatronics with 3D projections and practical sets and all that.
Yeah.
I feel like that Marvel kind of attraction is going to be cloned over to Disney's California Adventure as well, which in the concept art, and the reason why I'm bringing that up, had Ant-Man in it. So
I'm crossing my fingers on that one because Ant-Man's one of my favorite Marvel films. So
you're crisscrossing your fingers.
Oh. Yep. So Vinny, what do you think should come to Marvel Land? What rides?
You guys are talking about Ant-Man and it going in the tough to be a bug theater. I was thinking, space permitting, obviously, that it'd be something sort of like Adventure Through Inner Space almost, where you can like shrink down and be like right with Ant-Man as he does his stuff or something. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not too big of an opinion on this, so I'll probably just take a backseat to these two.
No, I mean, here's the thing. I think that's a cool idea, and as a fan of, let's say, Ant-Man, the idea of using that theater it would be perfect. It's like a no-brainer. I think the theater is going to be gone, though. They're going to reutilize that whole entire space, because that's prime land. The theater is no longer going to be there. I also think that Ant-Man, while he's a loved character, and the movie was great, Ant-Man is not necessarily an intellectual property to bank an entire attraction on.
Very
the
true.
movie did pretty good, but he's more of a supplemental character. They introduced him. Yeah, and I feel like in terms of a ride, like you're saying, he's going to cameo in something else. But who knows? With Ant-Man and the Wasp coming up, that movie could do incredible. I mean, if you look at box office receipts, the first Captain America was very modest at the box office, and then once the Avengers came out, the popularity for that character skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And then Winter Soldier came out, and it was huge, and then Civil War came out, and that was huge. And now that we have a similar situation with Ant-Man, where we had an Ant-Man film, it was modest, it was pretty good, it was successful, but then he appeared in Civil War, and now he has that backing of being in a $1 billion film. Now the popularity for that character could rise, especially now that they're making another movie with that character. So who knows?
It could always happen. We don't know. We'll see. Maybe they'll announce it at Comic-Con. That's a rumor I've been hearing.
So there's a couple things that were announced at D23. At Disney's California Adventure, we have the Marvel Land taking over Bugs Land. We also have, which I'm very puzzled and I have reserved feelings on, essentially a retheming of Paradise Pier.
Yeah.
Which is now going to be called Pixar Pier. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not.
Okay. And basically, for those not familiar with Paradise Pier, it's reminiscent of an old boardwalk from around the turn of the century. There's an old wooden roller coaster. There's little shops, little game areas, and restaurants. This went through an overhaul and retheming about 4 or 5 years ago, and they spent a lot of money to give it that classic old 1930s, 1940s Disney cartoon feel by retheming some of the rides to reflect those old shorts, like the Silly Symphonies, and
Goofy
a few
Sky
others.
School. Stuff
Yes,
like that.
Goofy Sky School. So my question is, one, are they just doing away with all that retheming and making it all Pixar? And if so, what's going to happen to the Little Mermaid Dark ride? Is that going to be also changed? Ariel's Grotto, which is a nice restaurant, is that going to be changed? Mickey's Fun Wheel,
That's been confirmed.
is that going to be changed too? And then we also have a resort, Paradise Pier Hotel, that is themed off of this. Is that whole resort going to now get a retheming as well? So it raises a lot of questions. What do you guys feel about that?
Okay.
Yeah. And now that it's not going to have any relevancy. So that needs to change.
Okay, let me put my 2 cents in. So, looking at the concept art for what they released of Pixar Pier, they're retheming the Ferris wheel. They're retheming it.
Are they?
Yeah, it's gonna be Luxo themed. But it's like I love the Mickey head.
I haven't seen this artwork. Can you throw that in the chat?
Yeah,
maybe?
let me
I have
find
not
it.
seen this. I've seen the pier. I've seen the Luxo ball on the ground, and then I saw
Pixar.
Bing Bong and all that. But I have not seen the retheming of the wheel.
If you look all the way on the right, you see the logo for Pixar or the Luxo. Let me grab it. Yeah, if you look all the way to the right, And I'm like, no, because the Mickey head's iconic. Like, it's on all the merchandise, and it's like the classic Mickey from the cartoons with the, you know, like the sun peeking out of the back. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a Luxo themed. And I don't know if
Wait a second. Where
look on the
where
right.
in this are you seeing this?
The right. The little
In the artwork.
yeah. Look on the right. That little
Yeah.
thing. It's Luxo.
It's a
Pixar.
Luxo ball, right?
Look at the. Okay, it's all the way on the right, and it's that little archway, and that's the sign for the Mickey
Yeah.
ride, right? The Ferris wheel,
Okay.
and that's a Pixar ball now.
There's no Ferris wheel here.
Is there not?
Not in the picture you sent me.
Well, it's not the picture. It's the sign for it.
No, that's not. That sign is. I saw comparative pictures. That sign is for in front of the roller coaster.
No.
I'm fairly certain that is not. That's not signage for the
Wait,
actual
so
Ferris wheel.
Where? Wait. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where this.
I saw a comparative
place.
thing
Like, where is
where it lined up with these images here, and that is not actually. That's not the Fun Wheel signage.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out where is this. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Where's this overlay at? Is it so it's right next to Screaming, right?
Okay, we may have to cut all this out, but here.
I need to know now.
Okay, so you know right when you're about to exit the pier, right before the meet and greet for Buzz Lightyear, and then there's a little restaurant. There's like a Spanish restaurant. Mm-hmm. All right, there's an archway over there. That's what that archway is. Right near Fun Wheel, but that's not the Fun Wheel signage.
Okay, because that was confusing me because I'm like, wait, isn't that the Fun Wheel signage?
No, and they haven't said what they're doing with the Fun Wheel.
I really hope they don't change it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because before it was a sun,
Yeah.
and then it was a classic Mickey Mouse face, which was, to me, it's iconic.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's a good. It has a good Disney representation in the park. I thought Paradise Pier was done very tastefully with the retheming there, but if they're gonna make it predominantly Pixar, I don't have a problem with that. But what they have currently is fine. From what they showed in the picture, and they're being very cryptic on what is gonna happen with this whole refurb. I've heard some things that the roller coaster side of the pier is going to be changed, whereas the opposite side, where they have Goofy's Sky School, or yes, that's what it's called, and Little Mermaid and all that, that's going to remain the same, and the pier is actually going to be broken up into two segments. I don't know if that's true. I don't know how that's going to work. But I know that a lot of people were really confused about this because, and I'll bring this up. If they're going to spend money retheming all this, it's an area that doesn't necessarily need to be rethemed. It's fine. Why not use this money towards something else, like revamping Tomorrowland?
Yeah, exactly.
Where I think could use a nice little refurb. To be honest, I feel like that's my biggest, the biggest thing that I want to see as a fan is a Tomorrowland refurb, revamp, refresh, because the identity for that land is up in the air. It's not necessarily what it was intended to be, nor does it really have a story. And now with Star Wars Land, Star Tours is not necessarily needed anymore. Buzz Lightyear, Astro Blasters, I think is a little bit outdated now with Toy Story Midway Mania. Besides Space Mountain, there's not much else that is really standoutish of that little area. And I think what they're planning to do is do a Tomorrowland revamp after Star Wars Land Galactic Edge opens, because I don't think they want to close an entire land while there's construction already in the park.
Yeah.
But this Pixar Pier to me, and I'm sorry I'm talking so much, but
It's
this
fine.
Pixar Pier to me just seems unwarranted, unwanted, and slightly unimaginative.
I don't like it. Like, I might like it when I see it, but I don't at the moment.
Yeah.
I want to know if they're going to
And
retheme Screaming.
That's another thing. They're going to have to retheme the roller coaster.
I hope they don't.
Which,
Like, are they going to...
Ow, is my question?
Yeah, like, are they going to just do, like, Slinky Dog? Like, are they going to... I don't... I love Screaming. Like, that's one of my favorite rides in the park. And if... I don't know. Like, the Neil Patrick
here's the
Harris
thing
announcing is iconic to me. So, like...
it is. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, is that this ride was already rethemed once. It used to have a giant Mickey Mouse head over the loop, and now it's just a sun, right?
Yeah. Is it just a sun? Or is it just a circle?
Yeah.
Okay.
They basically they switched the wheel used to
Yeah.
have a sun, and then it went Mickey Mouse, and this flipped it as well.
I always remember the sun on the fun wheel, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That always looked weird. But
So I don't know. I mean, I can see them putting like a big Luxo ball where the loop is, but then that just seems like it just seems dumb. And I
honestly
wouldn't mind
does.
this if with the original park opening Paradise Pier, if they were saying we're going to retheme it to Pixar Pier, I would be fine. But with what was already refurbed and rechanged and reskinned, and now they're doing it again, this doesn't seem like an additive, fun thing. It just seems like a waste of money and quite disappointing. I'll say the only thing that it does make a little bit more sense is that it'll tie into Cars Land a little bit
yeah.
more. But even then, I mean, it doesn't...
There's a lot of
Doesn't
space
need
between here and Cars Land. Like, there's at least 100 feet between this and Cars Land. Like, I understand you see the back of Cars Land from Paradise Pier, but I just don't. Vinny,
Yeah, plus you have the whole Pacific Wharf area there. How are you going to possibly do that? You going to do away with it, or do you got to retheme it, or what's the deal with that?
That was my other thought. I mean, you have the Pacific Wharf, which is a lovely area. I love that it's great theming. Mm-hmm. And then you have that enormous theater for the Little Mermaid. You have it's like a museum facade. I love how we're so frustrated about it. I think the thing is that we don't know much about what's going into it except for a couple different signs that are going to be changed. But there's a lot of other questions that...
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Bing Bong
is dead.
It's very true. Bing Bong is dead.
He's dead. He doesn't need to be here. We're already sad that he's dead. He's back. Go away.
Don't bring back any bad memories. Sour memories, dare I say, because he's
And
gonna
look,
get
that theater's
confectionery.
just for previews. It's just for previews of Pixar movies. That's all that's for. Unless it's like a whole new ride, but I think it's just going to be previews, or that's a shop.
Wait, I'm trying to look at the image now. So which one are you talking about?
The Pixar theater, the Pixar Pier theater. What do you think that's going to be? Do you think it's actually going to be a theater, or if it's just going to be an overlay and it's going to be a shop?
No, because I mean, I don't know.
Because
It doesn't seem like it's a shop.
I've looked at the layout and I don't know where that would be. Because I'm still trying to figure out where this is. So this is like...
This is past Midway Mania.
Okay.
Are we going to be showing these images in the video so people know what we're talking about?
I'm going to be showing it.
Okay,
But
cool. Yeah. If anybody knows exactly where this is going to be, let us know, because we have some confusion and some thoughts on this. I don't know what that could be. You know, it would be cool if... Have you guys been to Disney World at all?
No.
I have never been.
No. Okay, there's a really nice attraction called Mickey's PhilharMagic.
I've always wanted
It's
to
a
go on
3D
that.
show, much like Muppet Vision 3D.
Mm-hmm.
where it's interactive and there's different effects that play in the theater as well. It's basically like a 4D experience, and it's a wonderful little story. And it would be cool if there was some sort of 4D Pixar story that they could tell over there.
You know what I realized? Go on, but
no, you're good.
So one thing I realized is, if you haven't known, Universal's doing a thing at their parks right now, and they got rid of the Shrek 4D ride, and they made it DreamWorks Theater, and then a couple weeks later, Pixar Theater. You think they might have just been like,
yeah, I mean,
oh, let's copy the idea.
I think the reasoning behind that is that they can easily switch things out. So like DreamWorks, let's say, tomorrow there's another intellectual property that's really big and they can retheme it really easily without having to overhaul the entire building.
Yeah, and I get it. Like it's cool because it's like, oh, it can just be the ride inside. Because that's how, if you've ever been to San Francisco, there used to be this 4D theater on, I think it's Pier 39, Pier 31. One of those, whichever one's the popular one. There was a 4D theater.
39.
It was 39. And if you go in, it's just normal theater. But when you get in, that's the ride. So I think it's easy because you can just change the show inside. And you don't have to retheme anything outside. So they could just change signage and
we are
stuff.
talking about Disney. And there is the Penny Arcade, which is not an arcade.
Yeah.
And you have, different building signage that has nothing related to what's actually inside the shops. So this could, again, just be a shop.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, really? This could just be like a theme shop.
I hope not,
You know what?
Because
aren't those the shops?
those are the shops, yes.
So, yeah, I don't doubt that that's a shop.
I don't know. But anyway, so let's
move on.
We're
from
not
this.
happy with this Pixar Pier. It's a waste of space, waste of money, waste of our time. Unless there's something amazing and they win us over. Right now, I feel like it's just not needed and it's confusing to us.
Is the word I would use.
So what else? What else we have on the plate? We have Star Wars Land, Galactic Edge. Do you guys like that name for a new land at Disneyland? Is that fitting?
Okay, Vinny, you go first. Vinny's not going first. Okay, I don't know. I kind of would have rather had Star Wars Land, but it's not bad. Like, people are like, oh, it's bad. I'm like, it's okay. Okay. It's not. I don't hate
Is it called Star Wars Galactic Edge or Star Wars Land Galactic Edge?
I think it's just Star Wars Galactic Edge, or is it just Galactic Edge?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if to make it to suit my liking, you either, if it is Star Wars Land Galactic Edge, you have to either drop the Star Wars Land or drop the Galactic Edge, because that's confusing to me.
Oh, it's Star Wars.
I think my only problem is
Galaxy's
that
Edge. It's Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge. Okay, so and there's no Star Wars before it?
Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
My only problem with that is that you have all these other lands that have land in the name.
Yeah.
Besides Critter Country. Mm-hmm. So this and Critter Country are the only ones that don't have that.
And they're right next to each
land
other.
suffix, which
or
to me is a
Toontown.
little. Okay. Maybe I'm off.
What is Toontown anyway?
But yeah.
What's Toontown if not part of Fantasyland?
Yeah.
And what's Critter Country that's not part of Frontierland? I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, but I love what they're doing with this.
It looks amazing.
I think Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is going to be a fantastic addition. I think that a lot of people that were worried about it are kind of, they're getting it. There's so much that's going into this. It looks enormous. I don't know if you guys saw the blue milk drink that they're making.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're doing shops, the entertainment. There's so much that's going into this. It just looks gorgeous. I can't wait to go on these rides that they're developing for it.
I know, right? Oh, it's gonna be so cool. But I feel like they're taking a lot of thoughts and just ideas from Pandora. They're using that as a base, and they're growing off of that. and they're just like, oh, we can do this. We can have animatronic like shopkeepers, and I think it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to see. Like,
there's no doubt about it that it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, and I just love the whole immersive experience they're gonna do, with like they know your story, and it's like what? So I can't wait to do that. I'm not gonna be there day one because they'll be packed.
No.
That's gonna be packed, and the park's
I
gonna
Did
be
you guys
crowded.
see the-
elbow a child before I get anywhere.
You've already done it
Did you
before.
guys
Vinny.
On
see
purpose
the
and on
image?
accident.
Did you guys see the image of the model of the park where it had like, you know how they had the little people on the model, and then there was a Photoshop where it was just crowds of people where you couldn't even see the ground or anything around it.
I didn't see the Photoshop, but that.
No,
yeah.
that was fantastic because it's true. It's just gonna be packed. I mean, Pandora is still packed, and that opened up months ago. And it's Star Wars. I mean,
Yes.
Avatar is huge. It was the biggest movie of all time at box office,
20.
but it's not the same thing. Star Wars is
Star Wars is Star Wars.
Yes, it's completely different, and people are going to be going like you thought. Harry Potter, Hogwarts was big, whatever. This is going to blow it out of the park. So,
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, there. I guess that was from what I understand, that was kind of all that was really shown for Disneyland.
Yeah.
Besides, I mean, there's a new resort coming. There might be a new retheming for one of the resorts.
Is there a new theme? There's a new resort coming for Disneyland. Did they
Yeah,
announce
that was announced a while ago, though. But
Oh,
That's where
announced.
the
Oh,
House
yeah,
of
when we
Blues
were
was.
actually, the House of Blues is going to be a Twin Strikes or whatever bowling alley. But
Oh, that'd be cool.
But the downtown Disney parking is going to have the resort.
Ah,
Okay. Yeah, you were showing
Yeah.
us that when we were there.
Yeah. I was a little confused, but yeah, the placement is it's happening, but the placement's gonna be a little different. And then also Disney's California Adventure is also gonna have a Halloween overlay this year.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
I think it's cool, but I'm not sure.
What do you mean you're not sure?
I like the theming of Disneyland for Halloween, but I don't
they
know
used
if
to
I
do
like
the trick or
Cars Land
treating.
for Halloween.
Sorry to butt in, but they did the trick or treating thing there a couple of years ago. Like
Yeah,
back
that's
when
true.
they first started it, the trick or treating used to be there and not Disneyland. So I don't understand why they wouldn't go back to it.
No, and I think it's cool they released an image for Cars Land and how like
It looks-
the cars would celebrate Halloween and all that. I think it's
looks
clever. I
cool.
think it's cute.
I wonder if they're gonna do it for the rest of the park though, or just Cars Land.
You would think
I
that,
hope they do.
but no.
Because it'd be cool to have like
I mean,
a
even at Disneyland, it's kind of scarce. I mean, they have like in Frontierland, they do a little bit, and it's kind of spread a little
Yeah,
bit throughout.
because all we get's the Night Before Christmas overlay. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah, imagine if like, what ride at DCA would you want to see like an overlay of Halloween, like Little Mermaid celebrates Halloween and or
Isn't the Cars ride getting an overlay for Halloween or no? Or is
What?
it just the land?
what is?
The Radiator Springs Racers.
Oh, I don't know. I think it was just a land.
Okay, because I was like, wouldn't that be cool? You know,
Yeah,
like,
it would be cool.
because it's like, oh, maybe you're like trick or treating through Radiator Springs instead of just like speeding and racing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That'd be
That'd
cool.
be pretty cool. I mean, there's so many different things that Disney could do. Obviously, which is, I guess, what I'll bring up now is, you know, there's things that were announced and we have our opinions, positive, negative on them. With the current state of the park, and I kind of mentioned Tomorrowland. That's kind of my little wish. What is something that you would want to see fixed or revamped or taken out, or is there something that you think should be added in the park?
So, my opinion for Tomorrowland, I would love for them to retheme or like redo Tomorrowland, just update it. I agree with you about Buzz Lightyear and Star Tours, like those. Since Star Wars Land's here and Pixar Pier's opening, I think those two can go kind of move on. But a land I want to see gone is Bugs Land, and it seems like it's going away since Marvel Land's coming, so that'll be nice. Because I don't know, it's just kind of there. you know?
Yeah. Well, and I think my big problem with DCA is they did a really good job retheming the entire park with their $1 billion refurb a couple of years ago, and they're continually adding things now. I just felt like the whole Hollywood area really needed more attention.
Yeah.
And from what I'm hearing, it's going to be, I think the Marvel area is actually going to trickle a little bit into it. I'm talking specifically where the Muppet Vision used to be. Now it's just a theater showing off new films.
I know, I'm sad
Monsters
about that.
Inc. seems kind of shown in the corner. The Frozen Theater, which is there. I don't think that's going to go anywhere anytime soon. And the animation building, it's kind of like a shell of its former self. I think that whole area just needs something new. So I think in terms of Disneyland, I would want to see a refurb for Tomorrowland. In terms of DCA, I want to see the Hollywood area get some love.
Agreed.
And then in terms of just a resort, I would love for... One thing I love about Disney World, which is needed because the park is so spread... The resorts and the parks are so spread apart. They have monorail transportation from the resorts to the park.
Yeah.
It almost seems like a waste to me that you have this monorail that goes from downtown Disney to
Disneyland
to Tomorrowland, and it goes right past California Adventure and doesn't actually stop in the resort, which to me just seems like a waste. I remember the first time I came to Disneyland, I was so familiar with how things were at Disney World that I was almost shocked that none of the resorts have monorail access. You have to walk to the station, which just seems like it almost seems like a wasted opportunity. So I think it would be really cool if they added a monorail line from the resort, or at least the Grand Californian, to Disneyland. I know it's a very short walk, but I think that if you're paying a deluxe resort price, you should have that added transportation
luxury
bonus.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's kind of my two cents. Vinny, let's hear your thoughts on this because you didn't talk too much about what you want to say.
Hey. So when it comes to Disneyland, I think, and I'm gonna get roasted in the comments for this. I think Toontown's got to go. There is no reason to go back there. There's none whatsoever. The Gadgets Go Coaster, it's all kids basically. That and the Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin. I've never ever wanted to wait for that. I mean, Joey and I, we've spoken about this. That line, it's too damn long. Like the line, like lengthwise, it's too damn long, and
the queue.
it takes forever. And I don't like. The last thing that I want is a wait time on the front board that's actually accurate. See, the thing with Disneyland is that they have the wait times, and most of the time they're not accurate. Usually the line goes much quicker than what it may seem. Like, I waited in line for Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. When it was at 60 minutes, I passed through probably the entire line and went through the ride in probably about a half an hour. So, the last thing I want is, to read 55 minutes and for it to actually take 55 minutes, possibly even longer. So I think they either need to seriously revamp the shit out there in Toontown, or they just need to do something else with it, because it's not really rubbing me the right way. And
there was, I will say this, I want to jump in really quick. Toontown was always a temporary thing at both parks, at both Magic Kingdom and at Disneyland. It was kind of a tie-in to the Disney Channel hype in the late 80s, early 90s. It was always meant to be temporary. And unfortunately, here we are 20-something years later, and it's still there. At Magic Kingdom in Orlando, they did do away with it with a Fantasyland expansion, which is gorgeous. I don't know if you guys seen pictures of it, but there's a Beauty and the Beast area with a beautiful restaurant, and there's a Little Mermaid area and everything like that. I think that it would be... I've heard rumors, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I've heard that they're going to do a Fantasyland expansion and
that's what I've been hearing.
At Disneyland. Would that trickle into that area? I don't know,
should,
but I think that would be awesome. So we'll have to wait and see.
In terms of California Adventure, I'm not really sure. I haven't really sat down to think about California Adventure and different possible revamps that I would personally add in there. I don't believe ever. But what you were saying about how Hollywood Land basically needs some love, I agree with that. pretty much entirely.
Yeah.
And I'm not entirely sure anything else other than that.
So, what I was thinking...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so I was gonna say, like, what thoughts do we have, like, if they add... What rides would we want to see in the Hollywood backlot and a revamped Tomorrowland or Fantasyland? Like, what rides would you want to see? Because I know what I'd want to see, but what rides would you guys want to see?
Vinny, why don't you go first, man?
Damn it. What was it? I had it right on the tip of my tongue. It was... What was that ride that they used to have at Disney World in Tomorrowland where you're, like, trapped in the theater with, like, the alien? I want to see that.
Oh, Alien Encounter?
Alien Encounter, yeah. Something like that, I think, would be pretty cool. Like, in, like, the... Like you said, we could do away with Star Tours maybe, like, in that building or something. Mm-hmm. But, again, I haven't really sat down to think about any of this, so I'm just going off the fly here.
Well, yeah, so... Alien Encounter was originally supposed to come to Disneyland.
Oh, well, now I guess it's time.
But they dropped it because of
they scrapped
budget.
it.
Yeah, they scrapped it. They scrapped it because of just budgeting, and I think it was like money issues. So they cut the whole revamp of Disneyland, Tomorrowland. But I think it's time to redo it.
Yeah, fun fact, Alien Encounter was a collaborative thing that Disney did with George Lucas. So that's kind of cool. I will say this about Tomorrowland. So they need to pick. Is it a sci-fi land? Is it a space land? Or is it a vision of the future? With Star Wars now in the park, I think that they have filled the need for outer space things.
Yeah.
And I think they should now refocus on either... Is this going to be a vision for the future, or is this going to be, very like actual outer space instead of like sci-fi?
I think outer space
if you
would be
look
cool.
at some of the things that they're going to be bringing to Epcot, they're revamping their entire future world. Mm-hmm. I think that they should bring some of those ideas over to this park. Namely, I love the new space restaurant that they're going to be.
That looks awesome.
Having over there, I think they should do something like that for Tomorrowland, so there's a nice dining experience, because there's not really a dining experience at Tomorrowland.
We have the pizza place,
and I feel like there's not much. I mean, I think Carousel of Progress would be a welcomed addition. I love that ride. Every time I go to Disney World, I visit it, and it was originally a classic Disneyland attraction. But it's a weird little corner, and it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what is needed there, because if anybody really knew, Disney would have done it already, and it's kind of a hard thing to tackle. So I think look at what they're doing at Epcot, replicate it to an extent over here at Disneyland, and then what was the other thing you said? For Fantasyland, right?
Yeah.
I think for Fantasyland. I'm the type of person that I don't like to see too many cloned attractions from park to park. Mm-hmm. And I know I just said they should look to Epcot as for inspiration, but I don't think that they should just copy and paste.
Well, yeah, inspiration.
That was one reason why I was happy when they said that. Originally, there was rumors that Cars Land was going to go to Disney's Hollywood Studios. They decided not to do that, and they decided to do Toy Story Land instead, which made me happy. So I love what they did with the new Fantasyland at the Magic Kingdom, but I feel like they can go in a different direction. I don't know what they could have. I don't know. It's kind of hard. You got to really think about like what kind of intellectual property do they have, and what haven't they done yet. They have a lot of dark rides. I think there's been a lot of rumors of different attractions. There was one that I really liked that was supposed to be for Magic Kingdom in Orlando. It was called Death Mountain, and it was a play on where the villains go, and they live inside this dark mountain and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like a roller coaster mixed with a dark ride. The only problem is that you have the Matterhorn right there. So it doesn't really. It would be like two giant mountains next to each other.
Yeah.
I know that's an e-ticket attraction that a lot of people have been wanting. It was being worked on for several years, and then that was scrapped, unfortunately. But that is one that I've always wanted to see in some form or another. I will say that this new Mickey Mouse attraction that's being built at Disney's Hollywood Studios, I feel like that's going to get cloned and brought over to
Hollywoodland,
Disneyland, if it's successful, and I think it will be.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that's going to be a ride that you're going to see in other parks.
Okay. So what I'm thinking for Tomorrowland is, so one ride I hope would ever like come to existence, because I've always wanted to go to Disney World. That's somewhere I've always wanted to go. And they just closed or made the Stitch Great Escape ride a seasonal attraction. And I was like, darn it, I'll never get to go on it. But I think it would be cool at Disneyland if they did a Stitch-themed ride. I don't know. I think they could just do like a cool concept with that. Like maybe a dark ride or something. Well, that's the funny thing
is that ride got a lot of flack from people. Not many people liked it, which I never quite understood. I thought the theming was well, and the animatronic use for Stitch was really remarkable. But I like you were saying, I think that there is definitely a ride that could be made using that character that could be incredible, like an actual Stitch's Great Escape, where you're maybe in one of the vehicles that he's in, that he steals from the space station and goes to Earth. There could be like a race or something, like not a race, but like you're racing through space trying to run away from the cops.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking.
And he's piloting the thing, kind of like a Star Tours
in that way. You don't even have to get rid of any of the old technology. You could just slap a new coat of paint on it.
Because Vinnie, when we were at Disneyland and we were about to go on Star Tours, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, since Star Wars Land's opening, they could just retheme that to a Stitch ride, since there's only been one Stitch ride and it wasn't big, but Stitch is such a huge character to the fans. Like, he has sometimes like he's using a lot more merchandise with Mickey and them than a lot of other characters.
Oh yeah, he's like the equivalent of like Tinkerbell to boys.
Yeah. So I think it would be awesome.
Yeah.
It's a character that a lot of people love, and I think they could do a lot of good things with Stitch. I think a Star Tours overlay would be pretty cool with Stitch.
Also, I was thinking about this while you guys were talking about your stuff. I want to see, like in Tomorrowland, I want to see them do something with the old Rocket Rods track. I want either the People Mover to return, or I want it gone. I want them to do something with that track, because it's just there, and it honestly gets on my nerves a little bit. Like, what are you doing even? Why are you still here?
Yeah, it doesn't look good. I mean, that's the thing, is that they apparently the structure is no longer safe, because when they introduced the rocket rods, it really deteriorated the stability of it. So you need to close down Tomorrowland with a refurb, take it down, and fix it. And I feel like the People Mover would be a great little addition, or just do something completely different. Don't use it,
Because it's just a bunch of airspace that's being used right now. That could... I don't know, it just feels... When I walk into Tomorrowland, I just feel like there's a roof on top of me when I'm walking through, and I'm just like, if they remove that, it'll make it feel open.
It would, and they should really look back at some of that early Tomorrowland concept art and understand what Walt's vision was, and really apply that to the structures and just the design work for that land, and really try to show us something magnificent. Because I feel like while that area is fun for the most part, there could be so many other things that could be done to really make it feel like a vision for tomorrow.
Yeah.
What it's supposed, and again, that's what it's supposed to be. So who knows?
And also, like, in the last 10 years, it seems like Tomorrowland turned into a mini Star Wars land because of all the Star Wars merchandise you can get there. So I would love to see Tomorrowland actually become its own thing and be what it's meant to be.
And it could be. I mean, I who knows if that Tomorrowland movie would have done better financially and critically, we could have seen an entirely different little area there. But I think that because that wasn't as successful as they had hoped,
they scrapped
any
it.
plans to really revitalize the area were temporarily put on hold to pursue other things.
Yeah.
Like Pixar up here. Yay.
Yay.
So our money's being deviated away from a Tomorrowland revamp for that.
Yep. But okay, so what I was thinking is, because we were talking about Toontown, and I just thought of this, like, so what if they put a Mickey ride in Toontown, like just redid Toontown and made it more Mickey just themed? Because I know it's already Mickey themed.
Yeah, I think they should. And that's something, like, I'll say this. I always thought that it would be really cool if they made a black and white area. Like,
that'd be
everything
awesome.
looked like an old 1920s, 1930s Mickey Mouse cartoon. And the houses were, like you feel like you're the only colored thing in this black and white land. And I think it'd be really cool if, like, you know how they have the cozy cone, how everything's served in a cone? Like, all the food there is black and white as well. I think it'd just be really cool, be really quirky, and I think that the Mickey Mouse ride that they're developing would be a great little addition to that park. You can have Mickey's, you have, like, different set pieces from all those older cartoons. You can have Steamboat Willie's ship.
And they can move Oswald over there.
Yeah, put Oswald over there. There's so
Bring him
much you
back
can
home.
do, and I think it would be so cool, and it wouldn't look as dated as Toontown. I think that it just it screams
just
like
looks-
late 80s to me, and it doesn't, not in a good way, you know?
Yeah. And because I was thinking, like, they could put the Mickey ride there, which makes a lot of sense and would bring a lot more attention back towards Toontown. And, like, if they wanted to, they could have put it in the Hollywood backlot. But, like, you were talking about the Villains ride, like, what if they made that, but not the mountain, there?
Yeah, it doesn't have to. I guess it doesn't have to be a mountain.
Yeah.
I love that concept. I think it's really cool.
It would be so cool. But, like, I think it'd be cool because it's like the Hollywood backlot. It would be where all the villains are hanging out while they're not recording their movies or whatever. That's where you would see them, you know? And they're like, oh, we made a ride. Here's our ride. It's a roller coaster inside. It's like...
Yeah, imagine if their
awesome.
plot is, like, they want to take the theme park guests and use them as, like, hostages or, like, make them their slaves. So they use the ride as, like, hey, this is a ride, you should go on it, we made it, and then it's actually, like, a trap. And then somewhere in between, you know, I guess you could think of it like Yzma and Kronk, how they made that little roller coaster to their,
That'd
like,
be
evil
awesome.
dungeon lair.
Yes.
So, like... You know, like, the villains, they make this fake ride, you get on it, and then you realize, oh, crap, it's actually a trap. And then somewhere in the mix of it, Mickey or Heroes or whoever save the day, and they get you off the attraction, and that's it. But the ride itself and the adventure you go on, that's, it's like the story that plays out.
Yeah, I think that'd
really
be
fun.
awesome.
That'd be
That's
really,
what I was
really
thinking.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
And it would fit in with the Hollywood backlot.
Yeah.
You know, because it's all the villains together. It would make so much sense. I just don't know what they would do
And-
at the Muppet Theater.
It reminds me of there's a Krusty Land, like Springfield area in Universal Studios, where it's like a fake theme park that Krusty the Clown made, and then you get on the ride and it's like this really, like, messed up adventure. That reminds me of something like that. That'd be really cool. And I can see that actually happening and working out where, on Expedition Everest at Animal Kingdom, you're going on, like, a normal train ride, normal roller coaster-esque thing, and then all of a sudden you hit, like, a stop, and the tracks in front of you are broken, and they're, like, mangled up and everything, and your train
I've seen
just
that.
stops. And then all of a sudden you start rolling backwards, and the rest of the roller coaster is done backwards until it then goes... I forget how it does, but it eventually does go back to a forward position. And I could see that, like, you're going one way, and then tracks are all effed up, and the villains are like, all right, we got you now. And then something happens where Mickey saves the day or whatever, and then you start going backwards, and he's like, oh no, and then you're going on this whole adventure. I think it would be so cool. I think people would go nuts for it. I will say this: screw that. You take that idea and make it a Kingdom Hearts attraction, and then we're talking.
Oh my god.
Yes!
Yeah, there you go.
That would
My
be
guy,
amazing.
this is gold here.
This is what they should do. All right, now
Yes.
this was my idea years ago. They should make a Wreck-It Ralph attraction, like a whole video game area, because video games are huge right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a Wreck-It Ralph attraction where you have this is what I actually wanted them to do for Disney World, because they have Cars Land, right? They should do the same
Sugar
kind
Rush.
of ride system, but make it a Sugar Rush attraction.
That'd be so
That
cool.
would be awesome.
That would be like my ultimate. And then you're the outside is like Candy Rush, but then you go inside the building and it's like the you have a little Wreck-It Ralph area, and then Fix It Felix, and then you go into the Bug Blaster game. I forget what that was called. But you can have you can do a bunch of different things, right? You have a video game area.
Yeah.
You can have Wreck-It Ralph as like the main thing, right? Like the gaming central. But then you can also introduce Tron that way, because you can just say, oh, that's a different game portal. You can introduce Kingdom Hearts that way, because Kingdom Hearts is also a game, and that can easily fit into the world of
Exactly.
this, because it's almost meta, right? I mean, Disney's going meta because now Wreck-It Ralph is interacting with actual Disney characters in the movie, so it just makes sense that, hey, you can go into the Game Central, you can visit the internet, and you can
Go
meet the
anywhere
princesses. You can go into a Kingdom Hearts attraction. You can go into a Tron roller coaster attraction. You can go on a Wreck-It Ralph attraction. Fucking do it, Disney. That's what we want. And then
Just do it.
It's relevant too. It's relevant. It's cool. It's not going to be dated, because Wreck-It Ralph in the concept already is dated. It's old video games, but they did it in a retro way so that it doesn't. It's like, it's just perfect. It's freaking perfect. That's what I want. That's what Tomorrowland should be. Just
So,
cut it out.
so Chris, when you were saying the whole Sugar Rush ride, it
Yeah.
automatically reminded me of the scene in the movie where they're making the car, and I'm like, there's
Oh,
test
yeah.
track. There's test track.
Exactly. You
Retheme
combine those
test
two
track.
ideas.
Retheme
Oh,
it.
there. But see, that's where it's like an attraction that doesn't fit, because you did a Wreck-It Ralph Sugar Rush attraction in Epcot. I don't know if that would work really well.
Yeah, that's
Cool,
weird.
though.
If they didn't worry about one area theming, then that would be perfect.
Yeah.
But this is Disney we're talking
it would fit
about.
that so well, because you build the car and then you go race it. And it would fit that so well. It's just it's in the wrong area, but I don't know. That just fit too perfectly, and I'm like, darn it.
It is. But imagine you could build your, when you're waiting in line, right? You could build your own car, and then I don't know if that would work. But anyway, I just think that but it wouldn't work for Disneyland, because you already have that ride system used for Cars Land. So this would be an attraction that I think would work well at Disney World. But I do think that there should be some sort of video game presence. I mean, you have Universal Studios now doing Nintendo characters, right?
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
So how are they going to combat that? I mean, the response for Hogwarts was
We get Mega Man.
Star Wars,
No.
right?
We got Marvel versus Capcom.
You got Marvel versus Capcom. Now you would have Nintendo versus Disney's video game intellectual property, which is Wreck-It Ralph, Tron, and Kingdom Hearts.
Not even close. Don't even stack up. I'm gonna butt in really quick. That doesn't even stack up. It's not even close.
To what?
To where Nintendo has set the bar. With what Universal and Nintendo are doing. I'm not very confident that just the IPs alone can stack up to where they're gonna take it. But
For Nintendo?
I hope
Oh, of course
I
not.
hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, and if they do it, they'll probably make it amazing. But given Nintendo and their status as like the gods, they're not going to be able to stack up.
Well, and that's the thing. It's impossible, because Nintendo is Nintendo, and what they have planned seems amazing.
Yeah, Joey
But
and I
it
are going to
does.
go as soon as they get it done.
So, Chris, you want to go with us?
Yeah, of course I'm going to go with you guys.
Well, yeah, you're down there, so we'll just
Yeah.
we'll all go. We'll all go. Okay, so what we're gonna
Orlando
do?
is going to have a lot more though, so we have to make an Orlando trip.
Go Orlando.
But I'll say this, and here's the thing about theme park stuff, right? With this D23 and with the current state of, Universal's really excelling. I mean, they're popping out attractions and resorts
Honestly.
and water parks like nothing, because they have that Comcast money now. Mm-hmm. And
They really do.
They do. And Disney was asleep for many years. And now that Universal woke up, now Disney has fire under their butts, and they're really trying to get their acts together.
Yeah, they're flipping out.
But it's good. It's creative rivalry. And I love it because when Universal succeeds, Disney wants to overachieve, and vice versa. So
I don't
you
think
have
Pixar Pier was a step in the right direction.
It wasn't. But here's the thing: like, what I loved about this D23 was they announced a lot of things. Not necessarily, all at one park, but they announced a lot of cool things. And for the first time in a long time, it feels like, I feel like a kid during the 90s when it felt like Disney had a large attraction coming out like every year. Like every year there was like something huge coming to the parks. And I was always like, what are they going to do next? What are they going to do next? It was a real boom in the resort. And for a while there, because of the economy and everything like that, it just seemed like they were playing it safe and not really doing much. But I feel like now we're at a point where we're finally creating things again, and where there's a lot of new stuff coming. And it's really exciting as a fan of both just theme parks and Disney. So I'm excited for what has to come. I mean, I don't agree with everything, but I think there's so much more good than there is bad. And even the bad isn't that bad. It's just that we don't know anything. We don't know any better yet. So
yeah,
we'll have to wait and see.
Exactly. So like stuff's coming, and it could be good or bad. We'll see how it's going. But I'm glad Disney's back, just doing what they're doing. I'm glad they have this creative flow again, because I don't know, if they didn't, we would have probably just gotten like a couple things this D23 instead of what we were told.
Well, let's see, we covered all the D23 shenanigans. We've covered our opinions on the parks and things we want to see. I think that's it.
Oh, Chris, what's your opinion on Bugs Land? You said you were going to say it. You never truly explained. Yeah.
It's one of those things where it just feels like a temporary... it was a temporary thing. It's like little carnival rides. Greatly themed carnival rides. I mean, the area is cute and all.
Yeah.
But if there's going to be a space where you need to demolish something to put something better there, it's a no-brainer. I mean, that it really is just a waste of space. And I welcome with open arms this Marvel idea. I will laugh my ass off if it is just rethemed. They don't demolish Bugs Land. It's just Marvel rethemes, and you have a little train ride and little spinners.
Some serious.
And that's why they didn't say what the rides were.
Yeah, but I don't think we're gonna get that, and I'm happy. So bring it on.
Well, Vinny, do you have any last words before we sign off?
Bugs Land sucks. That's all I can say.
Well, you know what? We'll come back in a couple months and let's talk more about Disney. Maybe after we get more details about what's going to happen.
Let's do it. I'm ready. I will say this: at Comic-Con, apparently there's going to be some more Marvel news about the park stuff. So
that'll be cool. So holding out for that. We might be back in a couple weeks with another update for Marvel. But that's all we have to say for today, guys. I'm Joey.
I'm Chris.
It's me, Vinny.
And that's it.
Bye.
Later.
Love your faces.
Bye, guys.